This is the SAU Report, a program featuring interviews with the faculty, staff, students, and alumni of Southern Arkansas University in Magnolia.
Hi, and welcome to the SAU Report. I'm Heather Halter.
And I'm Daniel Green. Today we have a student issues forum concerning items of interest with SAU students here on campus. With us today we have Jeremy Atwell and Megan Brewer. Thank you for joining us. Megan, we'll start with you. How do you like the overall atmosphere on campus?
Well, overall, I would describe the atmosphere as well-rounded. SAU is not that big of a school, so we can all get to know each other and participate in events and get to know everybody. And people feel involved. Everyone feels involved. There's flyers up all the time about spring fling or something going on in the mall area or the Brewer Center that helps the students get involved.
What about you, Jeremy? What do you think?
I agree with Megan in a lot of ways. It's a small school. It's almost a high school environment. You have small classrooms. The teachers can help you a lot when you have problems. There's student instruction set up. It's not quite as difficult as a lot of universities would be that are larger.
Megan, I know you used to live in the dorms. How did you like living on campus?
In some aspects, it's a good experience. In some, it's not. The rooms are really small, but you get to know your roommate, and it helps you define your personality by living with all those people. Sure, you have to share a bathroom and share a room, but overall, it's not a bad experience because you're in there with all those people.
Well, do you think that the dorm rooms are too small for two people to share?
I think so. In the girls' dorms, they tend to be a bit smaller. In the freshman boys or upperclassmen, the rooms tend to be bigger.
What about the closet space?
There's not enough closet space. Seeing as how we're girls, we always have lots of clothes, so there's not enough room ever.
What do you think, Jeremy?
I enjoyed living in the dorms, except for the fact that you lacked a lot of freedom. You were paying so much a month, and you should have more freedom than what you did as far as the curfews went at night. Also, with like your air conditioner, you couldn't adjust it. You would burn up in there sometimes, or you would freeze. A lot of things needed to be changed because, I mean, we're college students, and we're paying for that, so we should have more freedoms. But it was a fun experience when I did live there.
You mentioned something about the curfew. What is the curfew, and if I take it you don't like it, what would you change about it?
Okay, the curfew is 12 o'clock on weeknights if you have a guest, I guess of the opposite sex in your dorm, and it's 1 o'clock on the weekends. And a lot of times people have guests that come in from out of town or something, and they want to spend some more time with them, and that's just not late enough. On the weekends, I would probably at least go an hour longer. I know, get someone to work the front desk longer than that, because people stay up there. They should be able to do that. It's not really as big of a problem as they make it out to be.
What about you, Megan? Would you change it if?
I would, because you find that once the curfew's over, everybody leaves. And you would probably want them to be safer in their dorm room than off driving around town, Magnolia, when it's dark, when it's 1 o'clock in the morning. It'd probably be better just to be staying in the dorms where it's safe.
What do you feel about the dorm restrooms and showers?
I never liked those because we share a bathroom with about 20 people. There's 3 stalls and 2 showers, and then there's a bathtub, which nobody wants to use because, of course, there's 20 girls, and you don't know who was in it last or if it was clean that day. There's not any soap, there's no toilet paper, there's never paper towels, so you kind of just have to resort to your own supplies for that.
So, do you think that it's clean enough? I mean,
it could be cleaner, seeing as how they clean it every day. They could stock it a little bit better, and other than that, I wouldn't have a problem with it.
What do you think?
Like she said, the biggest problem that I experienced was the fact there's no soap, there's no paper towels, you have showers, toilets, and you have a sink. You may go in there, you may go to the bathroom, and you can't wash your hands because there's no soap and no paper towels, so you have to go all the way back to your room. And the shower floors, they tend to be nasty because there's a lot of people who come in there and use the showers, and they could at least provide you with some type of shower shoes or something, because it's not a very clean place.
Staying with this topic of living on campus, Megan, when you lived on campus, what did you like the cable? I mean, I know television's big with college kids, and did you like it? Did you find it adequate?
On some things, being a college student, we all like to get MTV, and we know that we couldn't get that here. But other than that, the cable was fine. We got a lot of channels. Whenever we were just sitting around watching TV, it was pretty adequate, except for that fact that we had VH1 and all those other music channels. We never got MTV, which is probably everybody's favorite.
Jeremy, did you?
I really didn't have a problem with it. I enjoy MTV, but being a college student, you really don't have a lot of time to watch TV.
Right.
I like WGN a lot. We had that. I could see the Cubs games, and it was okay.
Jeremy, I know you're real big into rollerblading. What do you think about the new rollerblading on campus policy?
I'm glad it got passed. I helped write some petitions for that. We fought really hard on that because it wasn't fair that people could ride bikes on campus and run or things like that, and we couldn't rollerblade or skateboard. I mean, people should skate at their own risk. No one was intending on suing the school or anything like that. It wasn't a really big problem, and I'm glad it got changed. But we should still have it where we can skate anytime we want. They have it limited to certain hours of the day, but I guess that's better than nothing.
What are the certain hours?
I think it's after 3 p.m. during the weekdays while classes are going on, and I guess you can skate all night until classes resume the next day.
So you're not allowed to skate to class if you wanted to?
No.
Or?
No, because they're worried, with all the students going to class, they're worried there's going to be an accident, and there's just too many people walking around for people to be skating. That's how they see it.
So you think that the new policy is fair?
It's fair. It really is. I'm glad they got it, because I didn't think it was fair when they had the campus police come up and harass us for skating on campus when there were bigger problems going on.
Right.
Well, I know both of you lived on campus, and there were activities and stuff like that, you know, like the theater. Did either of you two attend any of the theater productions? Did you like them? Were they done good enough?
I did. We always found that it was good because the plays were shown a couple nights a week, so that if you couldn't go one night, you could go another night. And we would all load up and go to the plays. They looked like they had a lot of hard work and effort put into them, and I think everybody did a really good job with those. It showed that they all cared about what they were doing, and that was important to them.
Jeremy, did you?
Myself, I worked in the theater department for some time, and they put a lot of work into every production they did. It was really great. They took a lot of pride in what they did, so all of the performances came out really good. And like she said, they would show them more than one night a week just in case you had to work or study or something, so you always had a chance to see the productions.
I know I was in one of them, and we did put a lot of hard work into them, and it was a lot of nights late there, especially when we had to strike the set.
Megan, do you feel that the professors adapt to the students' needs?
For the most part, they do. Sometimes I feel like if the class is too big, that they don't know who you are and they don't have time to sit down and talk to you. But in general, if you'll call your teachers, if you need something, they're more than happy to sit down with you or make time for you, set an appointment for you to come and talk to them, because they're always out there. They're here to help us, and they know that we're paying to go here, so they help us, and they're not out to get us and fail us, because all they ask is for us to come to class and do what we're asked to do. And if we have problems, they know, we have to work or we have other things we have to do, like theater or other things, and they'll work around you mostly.
What do you feel about that?
I found they're more helpful to me now than what a lot of my teachers were in high school.
Okay.
And they're not really obligated to do that because we're paying to come here, and it's college, and students are actually asked to work a little harder, and the professors are actually going out of their way to help us as much as they are, and they're really good about that.
Well, with SAU being a smaller school and sometimes the classes being smaller, do you feel that maybe there's a little favoritism going on sometimes?
Sometimes you can see that. Maybe the people that sit right up front, that are always, every day they're there, always asking questions. For the most part, I don't see a lot of favoritism. You'll just see a little bit.
What do you think, John?
I haven't ever actually noticed it. Not in any of the classes I've had so far. There hasn't been any favoritism. It's been pretty much equal classroom there.
Jeremy, one big problem people have, or that I noticed, was I really didn't think the library was up to standards with the students' needs. What do you two feel about that?
Well, my personal feelings on that, it's supposed to be really great. They have the computerized card catalog, like the Library of Congress, and it's supposed to be really helpful, but every time I've tried to use it, I wasn't able to find what I was looking for. I typed in my search on the computer, and it always gave me something totally off from what I was looking for, and it's always been a hassle every time I've tried it. So it does need to be updated a little bit.
I think it's not necessarily the fact that maybe it doesn't have to be updated, but the fact that we don't all know exactly what to do when we go in there. We need some instructions, maybe a little help. It's a big library, you can go and study in there quietly and stuff, but whenever we go to use a computer, some people don't know what to get into or what you're looking for, and there's just not enough people there to help you find what you need, because you'll have to wait sometimes for hours on end for somebody to come help you because they're trying to help everybody else, kind of research paper time and other reports and things like that.
Well, I know that when I was in freshman seminar, we had a class on using the library. Did y'all find that helpful, or didn't really faze you any or anything?
It helped a little bit, but mostly we need hands-on training. They can tell you what to do, and you can go attempt to do it and try to remember everything they said, or you can get them to show you what to do. And I felt that that's what I needed more.
Yeah, she's right. I went to that, and it seemed really helpful that day, and I thought the library was going to be really great, and the next day it was all forgotten, We need a lot more hands-on.
Right.
The librarians, they're really busy, I know. Maybe they need more student helpers in there or something to help kids when they need it.
Megan, the name of our mascot is the Mule Riders. Do you think that is a fit name for SAU?
Well, I know we've heard all the old stories about people riding mules to school and things, so if that is a true story, then I think that would be a fit name for the school, going along with tradition and the old ways.
What do you think, Jeremy?
Personally, I hear a lot of jokes about our mascot, a lot of vulgar terms, a lot of other things, and plus with our big ag-ride department, people look at SAU and they're like, man, that's a redneck school, they're the mule riders and all. And really it's not. It's kind of an image that puts off with that. We might consider having a new mascot, but for right now that's worked, I guess, although we've received a lot of heat over it.
What do you think would be a fit name for a new mascot?
For SAU? Oh, honestly, I don't know. Maybe the Badgers? I don't know.
Okay.
Getting back to, finding buildings and stuff like that fit, they just opened at the beginning of the semester, they opened the new fitness building and stuff like that. Megan, I know you've used it. What do you find it adequate? I mean, do you go down there and use it?
Oh, I love it. They have the weight room where you can go. There's plenty of equipment to use, so it's not like you're waiting in line for anything. There's all kinds of things to work different parts of your body and get your total workout. And then there's also the swimming pool that they open. It's indoor. And I know they held aerobics classes in there and Taekwondo classes, things like that. And then there's a gym. So I think that fitness area is a really, really good facility because it contains everything you need.
Jeremy, did you ever use it?
Oh, I've used it a couple of times, obviously not enough. But when I was there, everyone seemed to be really helpful. They showed me how all the equipment worked. And like she said, there's always equipment to use. It wasn't always occupied. You could do that. There's the old basketball gym. After you worked out, you could play ball. There's locker rooms. You can get a locker. There's showers and everything. It's really nice there. I like it.
Well, I know before you can even go work out or go play basketball in the intramural gym, you have to go through kind of a training session, do you think that's fair to have to do that?
Oh, absolutely, because you don't want to go in there and not know what to do with anything. They're doing that for your protection so that you don't strain a muscle or hurt yourself. And it's just a quick 15-minute orientation, just basically tells you what machines are what and how to use them. And there's instructions on all the machines, so it's really helpful.
Yeah, you can really hurt yourself in there, so the class is necessary. They also make you fill out health information because if you're not in great health, you need to get checked on by a doctor because, like for me, I had bad knees and I had to get a pass by my doctor, and he told me I had to wear a knee brace when I worked out in there. Otherwise, I could have damaged my knee for life, and that's a good thing, I think.
Right. Well, Megan, what do you feel about having sororities and fraternities on campus?
Well, a lot of my friends are members of a sorority or a fraternity, and I know some people are against it, but I think that it's a really good way to be part of an organization, a part of a sisterhood or a brotherhood, and feel really close to somebody. It doesn't necessarily leave people out because they're always having activities that sororities or fraternity will sponsor, and I'm not in a sorority, and I'm with them all the time, and they have things that I go to, and everybody's invited to, and they don't leave people out. There's things that we're not involved in that's part of their own thing, but that's just like with everything. Like with a theater production, if they're having a play, I'm not in the play if I'm not trying out for it, and it's just like that.
Right. What do you feel, Jeremy?
I don't think they're necessarily a bad thing, but personally, I wouldn't pay to have friends. You know, that's how I see it. They're not as snobby as people say. A lot of people say the sororities and fraternities are always looking down their nose at people. They're not really that bad. Like she said, they do invite everyone to their get-togethers and things like that. But like I said, I wouldn't pay to have friends. And as some people's thing, it's not mine.
What do you guys think about the computer lab? I know for Christmas I got a computer as a Christmas present, and so I don't go down there anymore. I know I personally, for one, felt it should have been open 24 hours. Megan, when you lived on campus, did you see any problems with that?
That was the one problem. It wasn't open long enough because, as we all know, we all procrastinate on term papers and things like that. So we're running around trying to find a computer that we can use. Somebody borrow somebody's that has one in the dorms if you can find one, because it'll be, I think it's 10 o'clock it closes. Am I right on that?
I think so.
And it'll be 11 o'clock and you're still doing it. What are you supposed to do? You can't go in there. So you'll have to wait till the next morning when it opens at 7 and hope you can finish it before your class starts. Perhaps we should get started a little earlier, but I think it should be open longer. There's enough computers in there, and you don't have to wait for a computer.
Jeremy, what do you think?
It's been really helpful for a lot of things, but then again, it's been a hassle too because I picked up viruses on some of my disks, and a lot of times the A drives on the computers won't work, and that's a problem if you're doing a paper for someone. You might use a computer somewhere else and then use that one, and you have to keep your files on a disk, and they just don't work for you, or you can't get to a computer that does have an A drive that works. A lot of the equipment needs to be worked on and checked out. Also, they do need to stay open a little later because I've come in from work and I had to finish a paper, and I might have got in at 9:30, and that gives me 30 minutes to get in there, and I might need hours to do that.
Right. And one good thing that I liked about it was, you know, the unlimited access you had to, like, the internet, and you know, you could print out zillions of copies of
Right.
paper if you needed to. So that's A plus that I found.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Do you think that the reason why the equipment's, like, you know, you say sometimes not working right is because so many people use it?
I always thought that. There's a lot of people that come in there, and a lot of people who do use the computers haven't had prior experience on computers, like in high school, and they don't take care of the equipment. Really, I think SAU should have at least a beginning computer class for anyone who wants to use the computer lab, because a lot of the equipment gets messed up by people who really just don't know what they're doing. They don't mean to mess it up, but they do.
Well, do you think that, you know, you have to go through the orientation to use the HKR complex? Do you think that you should have to go through an orientation to use the computer lab also?
Definitely. You really
Like
should.
a
That's
mandatory?
just as important. It's really important.
I think I agree with that because when I came, I really had no idea about computers, but I learned. I don't think I really damaged anything, but but back to the fraternities and sororities. Do y'all feel that there is enough activities for Greeks and non-Greeks to both participate in, and not just the sororities, or not just the people who aren't in sororities or fraternities? What do you think, Megan?
Oh yeah, they have Greek Week, and they have all those like Greek Olympics and Miss Mule contests and things that you can go watch. And I'm sure that if you want to participate, there's intramural football, and right now they're having intramural baseball. And even if you're not a Greek, you can play. I went out there being I'm a little sister to a fraternity, and they were playing, and they let me out there. And if you want to play out there, you're more than welcome to. The more people, the more the merrier. So I don't think that they're out there just to keep people out. I think there's plenty of involvement for Greeks and non-Greeks.
What do you think,
Oh,
Jimmy?
there's more than enough involvement. I know when I lived on campus, there were so many things going on. You couldn't do everything. If you did, you wouldn't make it to class a lot of times. You really had to prioritize, but there was always a frat party or a ball game or something like that going on. So there was plenty of activities that the fraternities and sororities had for everyone, not just members.
Sticking with like what Megan, you were talking about, the intramurals. I don't know if either of you have participated in them, but do you think they're adequate? Do you think there should be more? Do you think there should be less emphasis on them? What are your feelings on that, Megan?
Oh, I think that they should emphasize it more, because not everybody's on the football team or the baseball team, and not everybody is good at sports. But with intramurals, everybody can play. They don't keep anybody out. So we're all out there just to have a good time and have fun. You have to follow those rules, but overall, it's really good to get involved with that, because it doesn't matter if you can play or not. You're more than welcome out there. So they should emphasize it maybe a little more.
Jeremy, what do you think?
Oh yeah, some of the most fun I had was with the intramural. I guess it was softball, or yeah, that was really fun. And they should have a lot more, like she said, football. I think they should try with soccer, sports that SAU doesn't emphasize as much. You know, with their varsity, maybe they should do it in the intramurals, like soccer, hockey, or anything like that.
All right. Yeah, I participated in intramural volleyball, and I had a lot of fun, and there's no pressure. I think that's, one of the main points, because you can get out there and have fun and not have to worry about if you're going to make it to district or state, I really enjoyed that. So
Yeah.
I thought that was really great.
I've participated in all the intramurals on campus, and I've had fun in all of them, and I've loved all of them, and I'm going to keep doing them until I graduate. And got first softball games today, yay! So, Jeremy, if there was one thing about SAU that you would change, what would you change about it?
I would try to change the image that SAU gives off to the outside, because I know there's a lot of students, like I went to high school with and things, and they look at SAU and they're thinking, oh, that's just some backwoods university. And when I come here, I realize that it really isn't. That's a bad rep that SAU is getting. But maybe SAU should be known for a few more things than what it is. It's known for its ag-grad department. It's known for maybe baseball, a few things like that. But SAU needs to expand more and emphasize on areas that it's not emphasizing on as much. Maybe the computer science, maybe education, a lot of things like that. The theater and mass communications department, that needs to be emphasized a lot more, because I've enjoyed it. And a lot of people outside of SAU just don't see that, and that's what they need to see.
Well, Jeremy and Megan, thank you for joining us. For the SAU Report, I'm Daniel Green.
Now I'm Heather Halter. Thanks for watching.
The SAU Report is a production of broadcast journalism students in the Department of Theater and Mass Communication at Southern Arkansas University in Magnolia.